World Cup finals ever. Argentina beat France on penalties to spark celebrations all around the country as they lift their third World Cup title. You might have heard, that is Lionel Messi's first. Hello and welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. Fight show today. Craig Burley with us here in the studio, as is Ali Moreno. We also welcome to the programme, oh, what a treat, not one but two sad Frenchmen. Julien Laurent is with us, as is Frank Leboeuf. Shaka Hislop, who was at the game as well, joins us. Where to start? I think just overall, I've never been happier to be wrong in all my life. Because I was saying, finals are rubbish, you know, they're always tight affairs, nothing really happens. And then, just the 80th minute explodes into life, and from then on, you couldn't have written the drama.
There's been nothing about this World Cup, certainly as we've progressed, that suggested, apart from the fact the pressure of a final, which I suppose is a huge reason, but everything suggested to us drama. We've had quite a lot of drama in this World Cup, and we got the best drama at the end. But I think we got the right result from a footballing perspective. You know, neutrality would say, you know, French want the French. Of course, the Argentinians thought they'd lost it. They were looking tired. But I think in the overall picture of the game, particularly the first hour, particularly the first 45, I don't think, and Ali, I've seen more than Argentina than me over the last 15, 20 years. That was a stellar performance, bearing in mind what was at stake. Right
from the off, you could tell that they were completely up for this game. And you had France, who obviously seemingly weren't. And at 2-0, you kind of thought, wow, you know, you could take the dog for a walk. It'd be fine.
Which some people do.
And then that penalty just changed everything.
The first big decision by Scaloni was bringing in Di Maria, who had his fitness issues. And not only bringing Di Maria, but we're not going to play him down the right-hand side, which he usually does. We're going to bring him over to the left-hand side, and we're going to create issues for France on that side. And it was through Di Maria that Argentina was creating most of the opportunities. It wasn't just one outlet. It wasn't just Messi. Di Maria, by himself, was also creating all sorts of problems. And so, to the point that Craig was making, I thought the midfield of Argentina in the first half gave a clinic as to how to play the position. The interchanging of position. McAllister was outstanding. Enzo Fernandez was outstanding. Di Maria, we just mentioned, down the left-hand side. And you just think about the work that then Rodrigo de Paul brings this team, which is sometimes criticized, but he is the spirit of who they are as a group. And as a whole, that unit was just running circles around France. Where is Antoine Griezmann? Where is Tchouaméni? Where are these guys? Where did they go? Well, they're nowhere to be found. It's all Argentina all the time. And then the penalty happened. And you could not have flipped a game more dramatically than it did for those couple of minutes, in which is the penalty. A play, by the way, that Otamendi, if he just clears it, there's no issue. But now there's a penalty. Mbappe puts it away. And Mbappe again. And after that, if you're rooting for Argentina, you're saying, please blow the whistle.
You could just see it.
Please blow the whistle.
On the players, can you? It was incredible.
Blow the whistle. We're getting killed here. And there's nothing we can do. We were holding on to the ball so cleanly and clearly before, and now we cannot complete a pass. And there was a sequence in play in which Mbappe started dribbling down the left-hand side, started cutting inside and outside and inside and outside. I'm like, oh my goodness, here it is. Here comes the end. The whistle came, and that allowed Argentina to settle down, take a breather, and just kind of, let's go back to some of the things that we were doing. We cannot compete physically against these guys. We can't run with these guys. We're going to have to pass around these guys if we're going to be able to compete. They did better in the extra time.
20 efforts. Just before we go to the boys, just briefly, obviously the decision to play Di Maria, we sort of found out this morning early he was playing, and we sort of questioned that. We were doing the show this morning. But it was an absolute gem of a decision. But the decision to move him to the other side, when you think about it, was one, he could get at Koundé, but two, they couldn't have him on that right side because they needed Rodrigo de Paul, who was just fantastic, to back up Molina. Now, it's a little weird I'm not talking about the 120 minutes, but if you were looking at 90 minutes, you might not be sitting here and saying Messi was their best player. And that's what we talked about. Support structure. McAllister, Rodrigo de Paul. Romero, Otamendi up to the mistake. All these players had the game of their life until it started to unravel. But you've got to say Scaloni, for the most part, got the big decisions absolutely correct.
Shaka, we're watching this obviously at home. You were watching it in amongst Argentinian fans in the stadium. What was that like? The juxtaposition of the 80th minute to then the end of the 90 minutes, just the emotion that you saw around you going into extra time.
To say it was a roller coaster had been an understatement. And in all honesty, it wasn't just before the 80th minute. The first half, Argentina outnumbered the French fans by 10-1, and I'm being kind. And the first half was all about Argentina willing their team on, celebrating, as we've seen them do all tournament long. And then the halftime break, and Argentina are 2 up. And the mood of the Argentinian fan base shifted from let's will our team on to please don't mess us up. We've got it won. And in all honesty, for the first 20 minutes of the second half, France didn't look like they came to play. And I have to say, Didier Deschamps will go down as one of the best coaches in footballing history. But for that first hour, there's one sentence that kept jumping out at me that I don't think I would ever have muttered. Lionel Scaloni outcoached Didier Deschamps for that first hour. Then all of a sudden it changes, and it started to take hold, and France got themselves back into the game. But more concerningly, you saw that soft underside to Argentina, which you saw against the Netherlands, which you saw against Saudi Arabia, come back. And in the end, it really was the Argentinians just holding on. And France, you felt, in the end, were the better of the two teams.
And then extra time happened.
Let me be specific. Sorry, yeah. France were better in the last 25 minutes, not overall. And let me just be clear on that.
France's game plan came out of desperation.
Yeah.
Argentina had a game plan. I'll get to the French. I'll let the boys talk. I'll get to the French when we talk about the French, because there's loads to talk about.
Oh, I thought you were going to continue.
Oh, he said that.
Well, you might think this is strange, but I am going to bring something up that and Jules probably knows it. I'm going to talk about something that I talked about with Jules and we've talked about before. Kylian Mbappe.
Right. Okay. We'll get to that. I just want you to kind of tell the story a little bit, guys, because you were in the stadium, of what extra time was like. Because obviously at 2-2, Argentina had to regroup, and the moment that ball crossed the line from Lionel Messi to make it 3-2, what was that like, Shaq?
Again, the place just erupted, and I was the far end of the city. I was sat right behind Martinez's goal at that point, so you couldn't really see who it was. You couldn't really tell if it crossed, and then the first thing I noticed was the subs coming on, running onto the pitch from the left-hand side as I was looking, and that's when you realized, well, the goal was scored, and there was still a little bit of uncertainty, certainly amongst the Argentina fans. From a fan perspective, it felt like Argentina won the ball back again in the French half as France were trying to pass the ball out, and it just emerged out of nothing. And so it kind of felt like it came out of nothing, not that they were fully deserving. And it took us a very long time to realize who scored until they put it up on the notice board, and then the crowd erupted yet again. But even then, and I'm not sure where Jules was sitting, but even then, even as Argentina go 3-2 up, they celebrate, and then as things settle down, there's a nervous unease about the Argentina fans that I thought was telling.
And how are you, Jules? At 3-2, you've had the highs, the lows, you think that's it, and then, of course, France win the penalty.
Yeah, I mean, my heart could not take it anymore. I have to say, I was on the other side of where Xhaka was, so towards the Argentine side. So, for example, I was convinced Lautaro was offside on the third goal. I'm pretty much on the line, and it's very tight, as we saw then. He's onside, but like it's that thin. And then I think there's nowhere now. There's 10 minutes to go, but I just could not see us going again and coming back again. And I should not have doubted, because I mean, Konate comes on, he gets the corner that leads to the second penalty, the Kylian shot that Montiel deflects by mistake really with his arm. And then I'm thinking, okay, the first thought I have is Harry Kane with England against France. It's the similar for Kylian to take a second penalty, except that this time it's against a goalkeeper that is much better at penalties than Hugo Lloris is. And Emi Martinez is so good at saving pens. And I'm thinking, please, Kylian, don't force it, don't overhit it. Just pick a side and then that's it. And he hit it the same side, and then it's 3-3. And I'm sat with literally only South American journalists everywhere around me. So when Argentina scored the third goal, they all like went mad. And then here is me like, on the third goal that we scored on my own, going like, yeah, I can't hear you anymore. What? I can't hear anything here. I was just literally like crazy. Little I knew that.
Then someone punched you in the face, and that was it. And even after that penalty, there was one moment of drama before the shootout. Because I thought that goal was in.
What a player.
What a save.
What a player that young man is as well. I mean, it was a huge left dangling leg by Martinez that saved Argentina in the end. I mean, incredible save from a goalkeeper. It's just come on leaps and bounds. The young man, there's not a lot. I mean, it's hard to criticise. He fired it low and wide, and wow.
Just that leg that he sticks out, and because like you just thought, right, this is it, it's almost written, just not Argentina's day.
Yeah.
And then I'll take it about 30 seconds later, where Argentina then go over to the other side. They create a chance, flow the ball to Lautaro Martinez, who's by himself, top of the 6-yard box, and gets a header all wrong. And that is what this game was all about, post that initial penalty by Kylian Mbappe. It went crazy. It went all over the place. The emotions, the storylines coming into the game rarely display themselves in the manner in which they did today, where the big boys deliver, and then those that are supposed to deliver on sort of the co-stars, but the supporting actors, taking a starring role and being the players that actually put themselves in a position to make a difference. So Colomwani could have been and should have been the hero. Lautaro Martinez could have been and should have been the hero. Gonzalo Montiel could have been the guy.
Could have been the villain.
Yes, could have been the villain, and somehow becomes a hero once he scores his penalty. There are so many things and so many directions and so many turns that this game took. But to the point of Colomwani, and I will go as far as to say Thuram as well, the introduction of both of those players changed the game for France in that it was a very similar approach to what the Dutch did to Argentina. They exposed that physically they cannot compete with guys of that size and that speed. And once France got going and those guys got going, it became very difficult for Argentina to defend. They survived. And yet they had a chance late to win it themselves.
It's amazing that Lautaro Martinez hit the target for that Messi. We thought it was the winner. He looked so cumbersome when he came on. I mean, notwithstanding the header, the movement, how slow he looked to get into the game. And he looked like a player who...
just starstruck almost.
Dropped at the beginning of the tournament for a guy that's a lot younger than him, who's not been playing really at Man City, who's making his way in the game, who was expected, Julian Alvarez this is, to be a bit part player. And Lautaro Martinez looked like a guy who Scaloni had no trust in, but had to go to his bench to freshen up and liven up. And then we had that header. Oh, my God.
I know.
Perfect little dink ball, and he's like...
And it just...
It's like gone off on a tangent, but I tell you, you know, Romero from Spurs. I mean, there's so many from Argentina, but I just thought, OK, he got away with a couple of ones when he dived in. I thought, the referee I thought was clever in terms of the World Cup final. He wasn't running about like an idiot early, booking everybody. He gave people some breathing space. But I thought some of Romero's decision-making in this game, when to step in, how to read it, his passing from the back was superb.
Frank, I'm sorry, mate, for so many levels, but for this time I'm apologising for making you wait so long to join us in the conversation. How do you reflect on that final?
Well, we are frustrated. I would say that I am frustrated because, like, for 75 minutes, I saw nothing from our national team. Very disappointed. All credit to the Argentinian who played the game perfectly. I remember halftime, Didier Deschamps made an exclusive interview for French TV, and he said, well, there is one team who decided to play a World Cup final game, and us, we don't know what we are doing here yet. And then there is a disappointment. After that 70th minute or 75th minute, we saw a different team because of the crucial substitution of Didier Deschamps. And we saw something different starting from the penalty of Kylian Mbappe, and we were to craziness. Then we became disappointed because of the result. But overall, you have to accept the fact that Argentina deserved to win because they did what they had to do, and they should have won easily if France didn't wake up, after 75 minutes, which is absolutely abnormal for me. You talked about the two situations at the end. There is also a counter-attack with a big foul and a yellow card from an Argentinian player, where if the referee didn't blow the whistle, it would have been a fantastic counter-attack as well, a possibility to score goals. But I think, before the game, people asked me, intimately what I was thinking about. I say, well, everything seems to be going to Lionel Messi, like it's a destiny. That guy deserved to win a World Cup because what he did in his career. So I wasn't feeling comfortable with France, and didn't know how to put it. But it's like everything was, and the world, the entire world, but France, I think we're dreaming about seeing Messi winning because what he did during his career, and it's just fair for him to have won that World Cup. So we are again frustrated, disappointed, but at the end of the day, you have to realize that for me, the best team won.
I think it was Cunha on Coman, Frank, you're talking about.
Yes, yeah, in the midfield.
Right, and Coman got to his feet really quickly. Yeah, he got to his feet really quickly, and obviously he's fast, but I think the referee had quickly gone to his whistle, not realising. I think there's a couple of little bits we could maybe pick out about the referee, but I thought in general, bearing in mind, World Cup final, how fast it was, I thought he was strong.
So World Cup final, we get to the penalty shootouts. Lionel Messi is walking down there, and he takes it like he's the coolest man.
By the way, he rolled it so slowly. I thought Lloris was actually going to be able to get to it.
It was incredible.
It was incredible. I mean, to be fair, Mbappe's penalties, Jules touched on it. To do that in any game, never mind the World Cup final, it is amazing. But for Messi, I think Messi made his mind up. Probably, did he miss one early in the tournament? I think he did.
Yeah. Chelsea made the save.
When he went with power. I think he made his mind up that he was going to go the opposite tactic, and we've seen that with him, where he's just decided, no, I've actually got more about me, more skill than the goalkeeper. So I'm going to wait, and I'm going to go up, and I'm going to keep my head up, and I'm going to wait to hear.
It was a shootout against the Dutch, wasn't it, where he did exactly.
Yes, he did the exact same twice. No, he might have went for power the second.
No, he went for power against Croatia in the semi-finals against Livakovic.
Did he?
And then in the shootout,
There's been that many penalties. I've run out.
Go on, Frank.